Welcome to Fantasy Sports Daily, powered by FantasyGuru.com. Monday through Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9 a.m. Pacific. Ray Flowers breaks it all down for you from a fantasy sports perspective.
Morning, everyone. Ray Flowers of FantasyGuru.com. Hope you're doing well. Hope you had a nice weekend. Did you have a nice weekend? Hopefully you did. Do some fun. Maybe get in a little bit of trouble, just a little bit, not a lot. But whatever you did or didn't do, hopefully you're still okay on Monday morning. I guess that's the moral of the story. Again, I'm Ray Flowers of FantasyGuru.com. As you can see here, I am on a griddle, getting ready for the holiday season as we really crank things up into summertime. Yeah, I got some bratwurst over my shoulder there, I guess. Don't cook me, folks. I don't know what's going on here. Ray Flowers, again, of FantasyGuru.com, Twitter, X, Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, all those places at the Ray Flowers. You might be thinking to yourself, Ray, you've already talked today on Sirius? I have. As we talked last week, and as I'll remind you today, the Elite Sports Game Time show, which is normally 8 to 10 Eastern, Monday through Friday nights, is morning time this week. We're taking over for Jeff Ratcliffe, so Justin Penchman and I did the show this morning on Sirius XM. We'll do it Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday in the mornings as well. 9 to 11 East Coast time, which, yes, is 6 to 8 West Coast time. So I was up in the dark today. I'll be up in the dark all week, long here on Sirius XM. So we're not in the night tonight or the rest of this week. We're in the mornings, 9 to 11 Eastern on Sirius XM. That's Elite Sports Game Time. Jeff Mann's Elite Sports Show from 3 to 6 p.m. Eastern is on as normal. And then we're here with you every day at 9 o'clock. So I'm doing 2 hours on Sirius, taking a break for an hour, setting this show up, and then visiting with you here the rest of the week. What are we talking about today? Well, here we go. It's on the screen. On the screen, Ray, what are you talking about? How could it be on the screen? Go to Twitter X at Fantasy Guru site, Facebook.com/FantasyGuruHQ, or on YouTube at YouTube.com/@ElitePlusNetwork. You can watch the show live or on demand. If you're watching live, you can leave comments, questions, concerns, all that kind of good stuff. See, John G says here, the weekend was great. At least as good as I let it be. Well, good, John. Again, don't let it get out of control. No. We don't want to do that. We don't want to be a pro athlete. We want to keep things under control. Glad you had a good time this weekend, John. Going to talk some baseball. Obviously, a couple of the big storylines. All of a sudden, we were hearing some talk about Cal Raleigh maybe setting an American League record for home runs. We'll talk a little bit about that. Chase Burns is going to get called up to start tomorrow. Now it's against the Yankees, but we'll talk about the youngster with the Reds. Sandy Alcantara, Zack, Littell, Slade, Cecconi. What is going on with the Red Sox starting rotation? Heliot, Ramos, Ernie, Clement, Mickey Moniak, and what are the Orioles doing behind the plate? Sammy Basayo, are we going to see him? We'll talk about that. In about 20, 25 minutes, I don't know, whatever it is, in a little bit. We'll talk Waiver-Wire. We do this every Monday. Monday is the only day of the week where I ride solo. But the rest of the week, we have guests on. All the guests show up about 12:30 Eastern Standard Time. Those guests are Tuesdays are Armando Marsal, Wednesdays are Rich Miletto, Thursdays are Tyler Beaker, and Fridays are Russell Clam. Pause the moment there because my cat is freaking out. He's chasing squirrels over here on the side. He's playing with things. He's having a big morning. So we have those guests on, but on Mondays it's me solo. So I'll spend all this show, and this is the only show as well that's all baseball. So hopefully you enjoy that. Tell a friend, pass the word on, all that kind of good stuff, because we got some good stuff. Oh, and by the way, I'll talk about the football product in a bit. But remember, you can go to FantasyGuru.com, click the subscribe tab in the top right corner, get signed up for the product at FG. And when you get signed up for the product at FG, what do you get for baseball? You get everything we do. All the seasonal baseball, all the DFS baseball, all the wagering baseball. All of it is one package. So sign up now, you get it all. You can also send a note to support@FantasyGuru.com, support@FantasyGuru.com, or just click that subscribe tab in the top right corner of the page. The world is different now than it used to be in many ways. And one of the ways it's different in baseball is teams are really starting to fast track youngsters. We saw Nick Kurtz, Cagliano. Now we're seeing Chase Burns, these guys that get drafted, and then the next year they're up in the big leagues. Roughly a year ago, Chase Burns is getting drafted, right? Now he's going to start for the Reds, according to C. Trent Rosenkrantz, who has covered the team for years. He's going to start tomorrow. Now, it's a really tough place to pitch, Cincinnati. It's not a great matchup with the Yankees, but Burns is going to get the opportunity. So we'll talk about Burns here and FAAB and all that kind of stuff in a few minutes. I'm sure he was added in your leagues already. If he wasn't, you can add Chase Burns. Here are the concerns and then the positives of Chase Burns. Let's start with the concerns first. Number one, Wade Miley's hurt. No big deal, loss there for the Reds. But Hunter Green is down. And you look at this Reds starting rotation, and you have to wonder to yourself, in 3, 4, I'd say 4 or 5 turns through the rotation, when Hunter Green is ready to return, based upon what we know right now, he obviously goes back into that rotation. So that's 1. Brady Springer is in the rotation. That's 2. Third, Nick Lodolo, who's pitching today against the Yankees. That's 3. And then Andrew Abbott, who's been their best pitcher, is 4. So Abbott, Lodolo, Singer, Green. Who's the 5th? Is the 5th going to be Chase Burns? Is the 5th going to be Nick Martinez, who it is right now? And by the way, Nick Martinez, who has started and relieved, who obviously is not a big part of this team's future. He's almost 35 years old. He's working on a $21 million qualifying offer right now, and he's been quite effective while not being dominant, because he's not, through his 16 outings and 15 starts. So is Burns someone that's going to stick? That's an open-ended question. I would have to think if he pitches well, the answer to that would be yes. But again, not a positive. So that's the real negative, as well as, hey, the home park. But again, that's the way it's going to be for him when he's on the Reds. On the positive side of things, we got a guy with a dynamite fastball, a terrific slider, pretty good command, who has blown through the minor leagues with elite strikeout numbers, hasn't walked anybody, and he looks like the real deal, right? Without question. I guess another negative I should have said too is the workload piece. And again, I bring this up all the time. It doesn't matter because everyone gets hurt. But the fact is that he threw 100 innings last year, which was a career high. Last year at AAA. This year he's already hit 66 innings. So we're about the halfway point. Would they let him throw 130 innings this year after throwing 100 innings in college? Probably. I don't think there'd be a problem there. And now if he struggles in the second half, if his performance wanes, that's a different issue. And that's something, again, it's not just about what's the innings pitch mark look like for a guy. It's how does the pitcher look and feel? Because you never know when a guy when he throws 110 innings for the first time, how's he going to feel? How's he going to perform? No one knows yet. The Reds are a couple games right at 500, a couple games over 500. Honestly, it would be very surprising if they're in the playoff hunt in 2 months. So would the Reds push Burns late in the year? So those are the negatives. The positives, again, are the skill set. I think right now he's obviously an elite pickup off the waiver wire. He's a guy that you could spend a ton of money to get. He's a guy you could spend waiver priority to get. He could be. He's not Paul Skeens. Could be. He and Mizorowski, like Burns is actually ahead of Mizorowski on most prospect reports, rankings, all that kind of stuff. And if we see Mizorowski with his 2 outings look great, Burns got the ability to do that, to be a difference-making performer, though there are those concerns that I mentioned. So we'll be talking more about Burns on Wednesday. I won't be here on Wednesday. Justin will be here on Wednesday. I guess I'll have to talk about him on Thursday. I'll be with Jeff Mans on the Elite Sports Show, 3 to 6 Eastern, Monday through Friday on Sirius XM. I'll be with him on Wednesdays. Maybe I'll talk with Jeff about Chase Burns. But Chase Burns, the era is about ready to start tomorrow, and it's a pretty exciting time. Next up, Sandy Alcantara got 3 runs on 6 hits and 6 innings over the Braves. And, he's improving. And there's a lot of people that study pitching in a pretty in-depth manner, even people that I look to and respect, that are kind of in on Sandy Alcantara for the second half. And I'm getting there too. A month ago, I was out. The last month, things are looking better. He's starting to throw more strikes. He's made a little bit of a change in his targeting. There was some discussion about that, how it's throwing off his location a little bit. He's changing his pitch mix up a bit. He's throwing his curveball a little less, leaned into the slider a little bit more. I like the changes I'm seeing here. And the performances have started to turn as well. He started to become a guy that we're not nervous about starting. He's starting to become a guy that we're just going to start. Possible Alcantara's on the waiver wire. Possible that even you dropped him. Maybe you even dropped him with my advice. Well, my advice now is to pick him back up. If he's available, make the move. You don't. I'm not saying he's going back to Cy Young form. Let's not go that far. But the last handful of outings have looked much, much better for him. And I'm way more positive and intrigued with his performance than I was a month ago. So big-time positive regression here. The worm has started to turn for Sandy Alcantara. Zack Littell, we'll talk about because he was on the waiver wire in one of my leagues, which is stunning to me. If I did add him, we'll talk about it. Gave 1 run in 5 innings against the Tigers on Saturday. And, he is somebody that falls through the cracks. There's a lot of big arm guys with Tampa Bay, and there's a lot of big arm pitchers and big name guys and all this kind of stuff. And here's Zack Littell, who's turns 30 in a couple of months, and he's never won more than 8 games at the big league level, and he has 1 season of 100 innings pitched. And Last year he had a 3.6 ERA and a 1.25 WHIP and was very effective. Not a strikeout guy, but very effective. This year his strikeout rate is down to 17%, and that's really bad. So he's not an exciting fantasy pickup. I'm not saying that. But he's a very usable piece. He's 16 starts into this. He's got a 3.8 ERA, which is very similar to last season. And his WHIP is 1.1 because he's not walking anybody. He's walked 11 guys in 16 starts. Now he's given up 22 home runs, and that's the rub, right? He's one of these touch feel spot location kind of guys. He's not a stuff guy. So when he's off, there are issues. But for all the concern and the negativity that comes to the Rays at times, they have a plan with their pitchers, and it usually works. In the case of Littell, they don't let him go deep into games. So if you're in one of these leagues that has a quality start qualification mark, you might say to yourself, well, this guy's throwing 75, 85 pitches every game. But look at this. Last time out, he went 5 innings. Before that, 6, 6, 6, 9, 6, 5, 7, 6, 6. He's just like Drew Rasmussen. Not quite as talented, but very similar in the sense that these guys throw 80 pitches and somehow make it through 6 innings. Don't beat themselves with the walk. For the most part, keep the opponent off balance, and they have success. Big fan of Littell. Again, I was very surprised. If he was available in one of my leagues, which is a 14-team league with 30 roster spots, very well could be on your waiver wire. And he faced the Orioles next, and though they picked things up a little bit, that's still not the matchup to fear. So Zack Littell, if he's out there. Slade Cecconi shut out the A's for 7 innings. Let's go. And remember, we talk a lot about process here, and we talk about what's actually going on beneath the surface. On the surface, Cecconi threw 7 shutout innings. That's fantastic. The A's, whether they're up or down, they have a lineup full of people that can do damage. He held them in check. He gave up 14 hard hit balls. 6 of those were hits. And somehow all 6 of those were singles. You give up 14 hard hit balls every start, you are in big trouble. Because a hard hit ball, remember, is 95 miles an hour. You are in trouble. Okay? So though the surface results for Cecconi say really good things, be very cautious you don't overemphasize the success he had last time out, because he didn't really deserve it. Now he faces the Cardinals next. The Cardinals are a professional team, and all that kind of stuff. That's a lineup that can be pitched to. Donovan's a little bit of a hiccup here. Mason Wynn's in a little bit of a spot. And Nate Burleson. Nate Burleson. Why did I say sorry? Is it Nate? I'm saying that it doesn't sound right. I hate when this happens. Is it Nate Burleson? Am I losing my mind? Of course, I can't type when I'm standing up because I can't see the keyboard. Alec Burleson. See, that's why it didn't feel right. Alec Burleson of the Cardinals is in a hot streak where it's like 2 hits every other game. But that's not an overwhelmingly dangerous matchup against the Cardinals. They're not a big power hitting team, at least, for Slade. So Slade is a guy that maybe for the next time out, but again, be cautious that you don't over-anticipate success with him because of the fact that he's threw a shutout for 7 innings against the A's last time out. Everyone texts me while I'm on the show. It's like no one knows when I work. Hunter Dobbins was placed on the injury list by the Red Sox, and he's got an elbow strain. It's unclear how much time he's going to miss. Obviously, elbow strain, it could be a while. Richard Fitz is basically going to replace him in the rotation for now. We'll see what this means long-term with the Red Sox. It's unclear what the Red Sox are going to do. Are the Red Sox going to be buyers? Are they going to be sellers? The truth of the matter is we just don't know right now. I think a lot of it depends upon how the next month goes. Obviously, the fans are pissed off. They want some big movement here. You look at the Red Sox rotation. Crochet's been fantastic. Bayo's been much better after that slow start. Lucas Giolito has really come on strong. So those are 3 guys that are looking pretty good. Walker Buehler continues to be So Fitz will hold the spot down in the rotation. They'll see if Cutter Crawford can ever come back. Cutter Crawford, who missed time with the knee, now is dealing with a wrist thing, and I think they just shut him down the other day. So I don't know if he's going to pitch this year. I don't know what's going on with Cutter Crawford. It's almost like he doesn't want to play. I'm just making that up, but I don't know. Tanner Houck is closing in on a return, so they'll have to decide what to do. So Fitz is a moderately approved pickup. There's going to be some battle for that playing time for him, but he's going to get a chance to pitch here. It'll probably take on the Angels. So not a bad streamer, but we'll have to continue again to watch to see what the Red Sox do. Bruce Bochy said over the weekend that Nathan Eovaldi, who's out with that triceps issue, is going to start this week for the Rangers. We don't exactly know when, but he went through batting practice on Saturday and felt pretty good. So sometime this week, he'll be back out there. Now, he hasn't been out since late May, so it's about a month of time that Eovaldi missed. Remember, before he got hurt, Eovaldi was fantastic. So let's hope he returns to be that same guy. It's a pretty high bar that he set for himself, given his age and the fact he's dealt with a lot of bumps and bruises over the years. But he was pitching great, and provided we don't hear anything negative here the next day or two, it looks like he's going to be back making a start for the Rangers this week. Let's talk about some hitters before we talk about the waiver wire. Heliot Ramos had a double, a single, had 4 RBIs on Sunday against the Red Sox. Ramos has been better than I anticipated. And with the way the Giants' top 5 is going to look, he might end up being better than I anticipated this season. The addition of Rafael Devers is a huge move for the team. It helps improve everyone around him, their outlooks, all that kind of stuff. Fascinating to see where Ramos hits. Is Ramos going to hit in front of Devers or behind Devers? You know, right now it looks like he might hit behind him. That's intriguing because Devers is a 400 on base percentage guy, right? So that's really intriguing for his run production. Obviously, if he bats in front of Devers, it's the run scored column. So runs produced for Heliot Ramos shouldn't be an issue. Whether they're runs or RBIs will depend upon where he's at in the batting order. But remember, the Giants are going to have some form, and let's hope they can get Jung-Hoo Lee hitting again. But Jung-Hoo Lee, Adames, Ramos, Chapman, and Devers is their top 5. Pretty good top 5 there for the Giants. Cal Raleigh, I hinted at him at the start. Hit a 2-run home run on Sunday with 2 for 3, actually. He's got, 31 home runs now? Let's pull him up quickly. Justin Fentzman and I talked about him this morning. Remember, I said at the start of the show, reiterating, our evening show on SiriusXM, Elite Sports Game Time. It's usually 8 to 10, Monday through Friday. This week is going to be Monday through Friday, 9 to 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, so before this show. So Justin and I already talked about Cal Raleigh, but to reiterate what was said there, Raleigh, who's already halfway through the season, hit 30 home runs for the 3rd straight year. He's having a phenomenal year. He's batting .276, which is 45, 50 points above where he normally bats. His season has been just fantastic. Strikeout rate is down about 4%, which is we love to see. The walk rate is up about 3%, which we love to see. Like this is the best possible version of Cal Raleigh. This would be the best possible version of about 95% of people who've ever played baseball. Like this is a just fantastic season. Negative side, catching is hard. And even if I think it was 57 games in the field and 17 at DH, even if he's only catching 115 games this year, it's a lot of work. So you always have to worry about how a guy is going to hang on performance-wise when they play catcher. You also have to worry about the home run to fly ball ratio. He's been extremely consistent. And remember, players kind of, you want to say they regress to the mean, they do. Oftentimes it's their own mean, right? Because some guys, their number's always 6%, some guys it's always 12%, like the league average. In the case of Raleigh, it's been 19%, 17%, 17%. So a very good indicator of what to expect this season. And in fact, looking at 3 years of home run to fly ball ratio, it's a really strong indicator of what the number is going to be in the 4th year. So if you had asked me before the season started, I probably would have said 18%, right? Right now, the mark is 29%. With his power, is it capable for him to sustain this pace? The answer is yes, it is. Is it likely? The answer is still no. Also remember, as great as he has been, his ballpark, Safeco, wrong West Coast Park. Safeco is the worst place to hit in baseball. It's a pitcher-friendly environment. Those two things lead me to say he's not breaking Aaron Judge's American League record. He's not hitting 60 home runs. I'd be surprised if he hit 50 home runs. He's hitting 40 home runs. So he's going to be, in my opinion, somewhere in that 45 range if he stays healthy. Maybe I'm wrong. It doesn't matter if I'm right or wrong because you've got Raleigh. You're not trading Raleigh. You've already gotten basically the production you were hoping for him for this season. You've already gotten it. So you're just playing with house money right now. But just to let everyone know that, you'll start hearing this because I saw a report over the weekend. Oh, he's going to challenge Aaron Judge. I'd be stunned if he did that. But again, he's been fantastic. Kyle says, Ray, waking up in the dark. Thanks, Ray. I'll be listening. Yeah, I did. I got up at 5:09 this morning. Yay. I don't like getting up in the dark. It'll be interesting not to have to do the late show. After this is done, I'll write my raised plays for fantasyguru.com, the DFS article. I'll then do the bets, have those up. Remember, click the subscribe tab in the top right corner. Get signed up for the baseball product. All the baseballs, one package now. DFS, seasonal wagering, all of it's one. I'll have that, and I'll kind of be done when lineups get announced at 4:35, which will be great. Now, notice that's still a 12-hour day, so I'm not, but it'll be nice to get it done. I'll get to take my dog out in the evening and relax a little bit. So it's nice to have a little bit of a change. Appreciate you, Kyle. All right, morning, Ray. Lots of new pitching injuries this week. According to Henry, there's always pitching injuries, unfortunately. Yeah, there are. There are always new ones. You're right, Henry. Angela said my latest adds Isaac Collins and Tyler Freeman. It better be a head-to-head league, and you better be looking short-term. But Collins has been much better of late, and as we talked about with Freeman, his on-base is over 400 this year. So he's been in a really nice groove here of late. Ernie Clement, another one of these guys. It's kind of, a smaller name, but Ernie Clement, he's probably added in your waiver wire because he's been terrific for a month. He's in 378 in June. He may qualify at second, third, short, and outfield. Like, he qualifies all over the place. I've been using him regularly, I think, in LABR on a consistent basis. He's not any part of what we're seeing right now, okay? But the fact is, he's getting it done. And when the player is getting it done, sometimes you just got to go. Much like a guy, Tyler Freeman, that we were just talking about. Sometimes you just got to go. The last month, he's hitting 377 with a 941 OPS. The last 2 weeks, Ernie Clement has batting 431 with 1,000 OPS. Now, he has 1 RBI, so let's not get crazy. He's also 10 for his last 25. He's been fantastic. And again, qualifies at least 2, if not 3, potentially 4 positions. So go Ernie Clement. Next up, Mickey Moniak. Mickey Moniak hit a home run. That's his 10th home run against right-handed pitching out of the 11 he's hit. My real sincere hope, and I hope the Rockies are going to do this, is the Rockies are going to trade Mickey Moniak, get closer to the deadline. He'll go to some team and be a platoon option for them, and they'll give Zack a chance to play the second half. They should be doing it right now. When they signed Moniak, it was dumb. They should just be letting Zack play to see if Zack the answer. All they did by adding Mickey Moniak was get potentially marginally better on a day-to-day basis while blocking a guy that's supposed to be part of their future. Doesn't make any sense. I hope they rectify that soon and trade Moniak. Moniak, for those people that have forgotten, Mickey Moniak was the #1 pick in the country. I don't know what year it was, 2018, I don't know what it was. When was it? Let's look it up. Right, you can look it up. Mickey Moniak, the #1 pick in the country. Obviously, he's been a massive miss based upon that. He was the #1 pick in 2016, excuse me. But he has been quite productive here over his last 19 games played. 8 home runs, 14 RBIs. That is insanely high levels of production for any player. It's out of this world for Mickey Moniak, who is a 15 home run guy. He's basically like an Andrew Benintendi type. But he's been rocking and rolling right now. And if you got him, smoke him while you got him. But the run's going to end soon. And again, I hope they trade him and get him out of the way for the youngster there. Finally, before we talk some FAAB, you'll see that I added Samuel Basallo here. Over the weekend, you'll see it in a second when we talk FAAB. The Orioles lost Adley Rutschman to the injured list. Hundley, who they turned to, was injured. So they basically got Gary Sanchez right now. And there was a report that came out from the team with quotes from the front office that they don't want to pull Basallo up now and all this kind of stuff. And at some point, don't they just got to do it? I mean, we can all be frustrated in the fantasy space, which is warranted. Basallo has had a tremendous month of June. He's got like 15 home runs in 50 games down on AAA. He is a man-child. He routinely hits 400-plus foot home runs, and I mean bombs. He hits 450-foot home runs. He hits bombs. And he can hit right now. He can handle Major League pitching right now. He could be Logan O'Hoppe right now. I have zero doubt about that. The Orioles want him to develop, and I understand that. Their catcher's Adley Rutschman, and I don't think they necessarily want Basallo to become a first baseman at this point, but at some point you have to admit as an organization, we got Adley Rutschman as our catcher. Like, okay, Basallo can catch 40 games a year and play first base the rest of the time if we want. He can be our Salvador Perez, big guy, all that kind of, maybe that works. They have not made a move for Basallo. It sounds like the team is not planning to promote him right now. Again, I'm of the opinion at some point you just got to go. The Orioles, I mean, are they giving up on the season? Is it over already? Started to play a little bit better here of late, but this seems like an opportunity wasted. As a result, I actually picked up Gary Sanchez in the league too, because I lost in one of my leagues. I lost Gabriel Moreno to injury, and Francisco Alvarez got demoted. So how's that? 2 top 15 catchers in a 15-team league that starts 2 catchers. They're both gone. Woo, we're having fun now. But anyway, it does not look like Paseo's coming up for the Orioles. Really disappointing. We'll talk a little bit more about him in a second. Kyle says here, before we go to the FAAB, I have a good problem in a shallow league. Nick Kurtz is on the wire, but this is league. He only qualifies as infield. I have to drop Machado or Abrams to pick him up. Well, you can't. So it's good. Nick Kurtz should be added in 98% of leagues. Kyle, you're in the 2% that he shouldn't. So, yeah, Abrams and Machado, you can't get rid of those guys. They're fantastic. They're phenomenal. They're all-stars. Machado's as stable as any guy in the game, and C.J. Abrams, despite his slow start, is basically on pace to go 30-30. So, is that right? I say that, and I'm not sure. Let me pull it up. I think it's 30-30. Am I right there? 30-40? What do we got here with C.J. Abrams? He's turned on the power of late. Okay, 20-30. He's on pace to go 20-30 this season, but he's played 65 games. So he's on pace to go 25-40. And let's not forget the last 2 years, he's gone 19-40, basically as an average. So basically been the same guy. Bottom line is you can't drop either one of those players, Kyle, to get Mr. Kurtz. Before we talk baseball, remember, folks, you can get the fantasy football product right now at fantasyguru.com. Get signed up. Go to fantasyguru.com, click the subscribe tab in the top right corner. The draft guide is a full season product, so you sign up today. We get coverage all through week 18. Articles, podcasts, live stream. We have the live stream every Tuesday night. Live stream access to all the Discord rooms for whatever product you sign up for, seasonal, DFS, or wagering. Click the subscribe tab in the top right corner of the page at FG. Send a note to support at fantasyguru.com. We have articles legitimately, literally every day coming out. My articles, I think the 27th is my first 4 articles come out. So look for that later this week. As you can see there on the screen, we have rankings everywhere. Rookie rankings, best ball rankings, IDP rankings, dynasty rankings, PPR rankings, non-PPR rankings, super flex rankings, on and on and on. So check us out over at fantasyguru.com. We'd love to have you be a part of the large Zack community in fantasy sports. So come join us. Hopefully you will. All right, let's talk some FAAB here. You can see it on the screen. Let's make me a little bit smaller. LABR is a 15-team mixed league, $100. You cannot add any players for $0. Every player that's added has to be added for at least $1. It does cause some reduced money being spent because you have to leave money later in the year because you can't pick guys up for $0. This is a 15-team 5x5 traditional setup. So let me pull my team up as we're talking here, just in case it comes up, which it probably will. All right, Ray Flowers team. There we go. Ryan Kirkering was added to the Yahoo Sports team for $7. Is he the closer? He's certainly in the mix now, and he's getting save opportunities. So, as you can see, there was aggressive bidding, most bidding of any player this week in our league. Over half the teams actually bid on him this week to try to acquire him. Let's see, reports, Waiver-Wire. I'm just pulling up what we had here. So, over half the league bid on him, 7% of the budget for Kirkering. Well worth taking a chance on. Matt Stram is also there. Obviously, Romano and the suspension of Alvarado. Kirkering could take over because Stram, he's a guy that they don't mind throwing 2 innings if they need it, and he's kind of a matchup-based guy too. So I could get behind Kirkering certainly being added. You see, the closer doesn't have to be to get 10 saves the rest of the way. And if you're in a deeper league like this one, 10 saves the rest of the way, there is value to that. Casey Schmidt was added for $5. There was a $1 bid for him. In backup, Schmidt's been white hot since being promoted, had a couple of grand slams in back-to-back games. The problem for Schmidt is it's a short-term ad because when Matt Chapman's back, there's no spot in this lineup. Devers is here now, so he's stuck in the lineup either at first base or DH. Matt Chapman will go back to playing third base, and Casey Schmidt will go to the bench. So 5's a little aggressive for a guy that maybe he's got 3 weeks, maybe 4. It takes a little bit longer than the Giants anticipate with Chapman to come back. In a nice groove here, but that's a little expensive for my taste. Tyler Freeman, who we just talked about, he was added by Rudy Gamble. Remember, this league is a batting average league. Freeman probably qualifies at second base and in outfield in most leagues. That's a nice bonus. Over the last 3 weeks, he's hitting .375, which is terrific. He's stolen 5 bases. Still only has 1 home run all year. Still has only 10 RBIs all year. He's clearly not a 320 hitter, so this is merely a short-term play. And dual position flexibility. So if you're going to go 5 for Schmidt or 4 for Freeman, you go 4 for Freeman, get that dual position eligibility. Freeman, though, could be traded. And if he is traded, it's almost certainly going to be into a bench role. So that's something to think about with him a little bit long-term as well. Grant Taylor for $3. Seth Halverson for $3. Halverson is apparently the closer for the Rockies right now. I think he's got 4 saves the last 14 days or whatever it might be. Pitching much better. Walks have been an issue for him at times. The Rockies don't win a ton of games. There's others involved in the 9th inning mix there. That's why they're suppressed bidding for Halverson at $3. Again, this is, hey, I need a couple saves. This is I'm 5 saves out of moving up 2 spots in the rankings. That's the kind of move here. Very possibly gets traded. And if he does get traded, he's not going to be a closer. So there's some short-term positivity with Halverson, long-term a little bit dicey. Kumar Rocker, $3 to DDR, the Athletic. 4 failed bids at $1. Rocker, we talked about this a lot. Expectations were pretty high with Rocker. He dealt with multiple injuries. He dealt with poor performances. But the last 2 times out here as a starter for the Rangers, he's looked pretty good. At least there's signs here of him being a potentially usable piece in fantasy. So I'm not surprised he was added. I looked at him myself. Never made the move here. Let me see if I can pull this up as we're talking. Never made the move on myself because, again, I just had other areas I was going to, other directions I was looking at. But right now, Kumar Rocker trending upwards. We'll see with the return of Eovaldi what the Rangers do in the rotation. And again, this is a 15-team mixed league. We have 30 roster spots. All these guys are hurt. We're making moves on players that you may not even consider. Right now, you've got DeGrom, Leiter, and Corbin in the rotation. Rocker apparently is there too. So we add back in Nathan Eovaldi. How long is Tyler Mahle going to miss? When is Cody Bradford going to be ready? When is John Gray going to be ready? Rocker's going to have to pitch to keep his spot in this rotation with the Rangers. Eric Wagman for $3, fell bid for $1. Qualifies at multiple positions, plays every day, has pretty decent batted ball data, does Wagman. Performance-wise, nah. I actually dropped him, I think it was last week. Maybe it was 2 weeks ago. So, again, here, but most leagues no. Logan Allen for $3, not interested. Richard Fitz for $2. We talked about him earlier. Reed Detmers for $2. Dr. Roto's traditional $2 bid. Seems like every player he has is $2. Reed Detmers, really good pickup. Detmers has been fantastic of late here. I don't think he's allowed to run in a month. But again, when I say really good pickup, again, 15-team league here. The last month he has not allowed to run. He's got 20 strikeouts in 12 innings with the victory, 2 saves, and 4 holds. So the quote-unquote, failed starting pitcher has gone to the bullpen. He's been really good for the Angels. He's been great of late. Again, this is a saves league. I get it. I looked at Detmers. I get it. And as your ninth pitcher each day, each week, lots of strikeouts. The ratios are improving tremendously. But, he's not really a saves guy, though he gets the odd save here and there. Didier Fuentes for $2, the power youngster with the Braves. Maybe he sticks around for a bit here because of Chris Sale's injury. Chris Sale's got the ribcage injury. We don't know how much time he's going to miss, but it's almost certain he's out until after the All-Star break. So potentially, he's the guy. Mark Peterson says Rocker may very well be the last prospect born in the 1990s. Huh? Is that true? I don't know. Where are we at? 25? Well, yeah, if you're... And he was born in the 90s by a month. Yeah, you're pretty close. Maybe Mark might be right. Jacob Lopez went for $1. I talked to Lopez in Discord. Lopez has been much better of late. He's been a good strikeout arm. Still has struggles against right-handed batters. Again, $1 bid here in a 15-team mixed league kind of tells you what everyone thinks. There was only one. Was there even one? There wasn't even a backup bid. There is concern with Jacob Lopez being able to continue the mini hot streak that he's on. Greg Weissert pitched phenomenally well for the Red Sox. He's kind of getting the odd save as the setup man for Aroldis Chapman. Pitched great of late. He's more of a sold guy, but great there. Edgar Quero, still playing with Kyle Teel around because, they're using first base, DH, that kind of thing. Quero has been good the last month, really slow the last week, but it's $1 bid there. Mickey Moniak, who we just talked about. Gary Sanchez to me for $1. Sanchez is my number 1 bid. Quero is my number 2 bid. Again, I lost 2 catchers in this league, so what are you going to do? And then, was this league I lost 2 catchers? I guess this league I lost one catcher. It was Gabriel Moreno. Yeah, I already added Kyle Teal. So earlier I added Kyle Teal. So I have Kyle Teal and Gary Tucker. Gary Sanchez. Lost Gabriel Moreno this week. Brady House for $1. Fine. We talked about it. Eric Lauer for $1 and Jose Trevino for $1. Next up, let's talk a little bit of FSGA, 14-team mixed league, $1,000. You can add players for $0 in this league. Monday mornings, we open the waiver wire for a couple hours, so you don't have to save money here. I'm in trouble here. I'm 7th place in this league. I'm in 7th place in LABR. I'm in 11th place in the FSGA. The return of the Mac, I was going to say. In this league, I've lost Bregman, I lost Chapman, I just lost Moreno. My pitching staff is hilarious. Houck hurt, replaced him with Dobbins, who got hurt. Davis Martin, who got hurt. Justin Martinez, who got hurt. AJ Puck, who got hurt. Bryce Miller, who got hurt. Zebby Matthews, who got hurt. Having fun? Yeah, lots of fun. Not really. So anyway, I'm in 11th place in this league, and I'm down to like $100 out of my 1,000. Like I've blown through this. I've given myself the best chance I can to have success in the second half. On my bench, I have Jordan Lawler. We're dreaming there. I've got Kobe Mayo. We're dreaming there. I've got Christian Moore. The Angels. We're dreaming there. I got Caleb Durbin. Like at some point, you have to decide what's working and not, and what's not working is my team. So, it's one of those things where ultimately, eventually, end of the day wise, you got to give it a go. And I'm giving it my best shot here. And we'll see if we can work it out. I don't know if we can, but we're going to give it a go. Anyway, added Zack Littell for $36 in this league. I'm very surprised. Very surprised that no one outbid me. I didn't have money to go more than that, so nice to get him there. We talked about Samuel Baseo, and here it is. No one else believed in him either. 29 of 1,000. So to reiterate, I've got Baseo, Durbin, Lawler, and Christian Moore. Not ideal. But in a 14-team mixed league, I got a bunch of upper-end rookies, and Kobe Mayo. A bunch of upper-end rookies, and we'll see. It's the direction I had to go because of injuries and because of things just not working out for my squad. Again, not ideal, but you do what you got to do there. 29 for 1,000. I'll put him on the bench. This is the league where I lost Prince Galvez to the minors and Gabriel Moreno to the injured list in the same week. So as we're sitting here right now, Moreno, IL, Baseo not in the big leagues, and Alvarez in the minor leagues. I might have a 2-catcher league this week without him at bat at a catcher spot. That's why people don't like 2-catcher leagues. Exactly. Really debating on Francisco Alvarez. Like, do I hold him one more week and see? Let's go to the waiver wire real quickly because I can make moves in this league. All right, learn how to operate the website, right? How about that? Looking at the waiver wire here, who would I have an off to? Pedro Pages is going to play daily now for at least a short while for the Royals. Freddie Fermin, Nick Fortes, Jose Herrera, Elias Diaz. See, this is why 2-catcher leagues most people don't like. Okay. Next up, Casey Schmidt for 29 again. Okay, it's 3% budget. It's fine. It's a short-term addition. Jacob Lopez went for 3% here. Another short addition, as you can see there. A bunch of failed bids for him, but again, no one really believing. Landon Raup. Raup was my number 2 behind Littell. What was my bid point? Again, I don't have any money to spend, so my Raup bid I think was 14. What was it? Yeah, it was $14. That's all I could spend. I went 36 on Littell, as we saw here. Raup, again, there's concerns about workload in the second half, but he's been really solid of late. I think it's a very good pickup at that price point. Eduardo Rodriguez went for 16. I had him at $14, same price as Landon Raup. So I just missed that, but I got my number 1 guy on Littell. Rodriguez got a good matchup here against the White Sox this week, by the way. So for those of you looking for a streamer, Eduardo Rodriguez would probably be that guy. He pitches tonight. Could be a 2-stroke guy this week. Giancarlo Stanton went for 16. Like, no one cares. I don't care about Stanton. We talked about him. It's perfectly fine and acceptable to go 16 in the $1,000 league. Perfectly fine and acceptable. I just have no interest in him. Jake Cronenworth for 10. Good addition there. Hae-Sung Kim for 10 is really intriguing because Kim, they said we're going to play him more. Don't really know how it's going to happen. Dodgers got a lot of weapons, a lot of pieces. But Kim has been fantastic today, so it's great to see him getting more work. Verlander for $7. Grant Taylor for $7. Severino for $5. Gary Sanchez, Adam Ramos for $4. Orbolski for $3. He'll get some starting action here, probably for the Dodgers. They try to piece it together. Emmett Sheehan for $2, same thing. Garrett Whitlock for $2, and then Joey Ortiz for $1. Finally, let's go to Tout Wars. I think I'm in third place in Tout Wars. Let's bring it up so I'm not lying out my butt. My team has really played poorly of late. The last 2 weeks have been horrendous. I am in second place in this league, or third place in this league, excuse me. I won Tout Wars last year. A couple years ago, I finished second. So as I jokingly said the other day, I'm probably going to finish third this year, which is where I'm at right now. It's for a 1-2-3 finish my last 3 seasons, but we'll see if we can improve things here. In Tout Wars, if you add a player, he has to be active for you this week. So you can see there that I added Samuel Basallo for 24 out of 1,000. Again, no one believed in him. So I'm going to take a week of zeros here in this league at the catcher spot. This is a long-term play, and I'm really, honestly, if Basallo gets called up, I'm going to get excited, and he's going to play first base. So that'll give me an option there. But I also have Agustin Ramirez and Tyler Stevenson, so it's possible I could trade. I didn't make the move for Basallo for that reason, but it's possible I could trade because I will have 3 starting catchers, 3 of the top 50 catchers, absolutely, when Basallo gets promoted. And we were just talking about it, like Alvarez, Moreno recently, all these guys getting hurt at the catcher spot. So anyway, I took a shot. We'll see. Had an open bench spot. We'll see. The other guy that I got here, as you can see on the screen, is Lucas Giolito for $39. Giolito, I also got Jeffrey Springs for $29. Springs was on my team. I did drop them early in the season. I'm picking him back up here. It's one of those things where, in this league, I've been much better with my salary. My team is held together much better. So I'm able to spend $30 a week, no problem, $40 a week. We have $1,000 to spend all season long. Players can be added for $0 in this league. We run waiver wires once a week. So getting guys like Giolito and Springs. I have Max Scherzer, who's supposed to come off the injured list this week. We'll see. I lost Martin last week. Looking at my staff, Chris Paddock has been very good, but he had a little hiccups here of late. Cal Quantrill's the other guy I got. Cal Quantrill, I've never been a huge fan of. And, he has to be used in the right matchup. So very possible that, one of, if not 2 of, Springs, Giolito, Scherzer, and Quantrill will be gone after this week. We shall see how it plays out. Toglia went for 153 to Matt Trussell. Note in Tout Wars, it's a on-base percentage instead of batting average league. So maybe that helps Toglia a little bit, but he's not an on-base percentage guy. This is also on the pitching side of things, an innings pitched instead of wins league, and a solds instead of saves league. Georgia Profile for 52, Zack Steinhorn doing what I'm doing with Basallo. I think it's easier to take a 0 at catcher than it is in the outfield, but in the case of Profar, we're hoping he hits second for his outlook for the Braves when he returns. I think July 2nd is the return date. So Zack will take a week of zeros for Profar and then hope to get a guy that the rest of the way is in his lineup on a daily basis. John Legazi picked up Brady House for 47, worth taking a shot on. Again, this is a nothing bid, 5%. Go for it. The third base power hitter of the Nationals we talked about last week. Kumar Rocker for 17. Pretty good pickup, though. Remember, this is an innings pitch league. So, is he going to hang in the rotation? We talked about him earlier. There it is. There it is. The Corbin. I'm going to say that a lot. Chase Burns bid. Let's pull up the bid master results so I can see what everyone's bid points there are on Burns. Burns goes for $402 out of 1,000. 402. The follow-up bids for Burns. That went 402. Derek Van Riper went 78. Ray Flowers went 89. I was second. Wow. No one else bid? In this league, if you add a player, they have to be active. So if you add Burns, he has to be started tomorrow against the Yankees. That is risky. But wow, that's really surprising. There only 3 of us bid for Burns. I don't know what people were looking at this weekend. Why didn't I add more? Because in my opinion, guys like Giolito and Springs, I get both of them for less money than I bid for Burns. And we talked about Burns earlier, perfectly fine, acceptable, got to be added everywhere, all that kind of stuff. But I just went for the 2-for-1 approach. Now, the $402, this is why some people don't like FAAB at all. This is why some people say we should use the Vickery method, which is whatever's bid. Like in this instance, Matt goes 402. If I was next up at 89, Matt would have only been charged in that scenario with $90. some people say, well, you should just bid $90. And so 402 is a huge number. I would have suggested 20 to 25%, depending upon your team. Maybe 25 to 30 if you really had a need on the hill. 40% bid there is too aggressive for me. But again, I did this in Tout Wars a few years ago, and I finished in second place. No, it was before that. When Juan Soto was a rookie, I bid 413. I think it's the only time I've ever done 40% on youngster. So it can be done, and it can absolutely work. It's just really, really expensive to find out. Nick Gonzalez for 41. Aroldis Chapman for 11. Remember, this is a Souls league. Chapman has been terrific of late. A dominant strikeout arm. Good addition, really good addition at that price point. Winslow Perez at 33. Kind of a platoon guy, but all right. Luis Torrens for $1. Obviously, we see there, Francisco Alvarez going to the minors, so we're picking up the guy who's starting for him. We talked about my two bids. Greg Jewett picked up Luke Raleigh for 36. Good addition there. Raleigh can play first base and outfield, a little bit of power and speed. Tyler Freeman, this is an on-base percentage league. I'm not expecting that on-base percentage at all to continue with him, but right now it's 400 for Tyler Freeman, so a dual position guy there. Greg also picked up Lopez, who we talked about, and then Lauer doing that short-term thing. As you can see there, Logan Allen and Matt Trussell, free. It's a $1 addition. You can do that in this league. He's okay. He's just an innings eater. He's okay. Mr. Walter for 11. And then you can see there's my last move. I dropped Tyler Rogers again. Souls League. I'll make a move this coming week to get another guy off the waiver wire. Dropped him to pick up Jeffrey Springs, who is in a bit better of a groove right now. So there's a review of FAAB. We do that every Monday here on the show. I don't know why my backdrop does that. We do that every Monday on the show here. We review FAAB. It's the only day of the week, as I reiterate what I said earlier. It's the only day of the week. It's all baseball, the whole show. All the other weeks, we talk usually half baseball, half football. Go to fantasyguru.com to get full-time discussion of either sport. Click the subscribe tab in the top right corner. Send a note to support@fantasyguru.com if you have any questions. Support@fantasyguru.com. I'm at Ray Flowers. Follow me on Twitter, X, Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, all those places at the Ray Flowers. I'll be in Discord answering football and baseball questions today, as I am every day. I'll be writing Ray's plays here as soon as I get off the show. After that, I'll be doing some bets as well. Remember, there's no evening show tonight. The Lead Sports Game Time show, normally 8 to 10 Eastern, Monday through Friday on SiriusXM. This week only is 9 to 11 a.m. So early in the morning, I'm doing that show and then coming to do this show with you this week. So check that out. And get signed up with us over there at FG. Hopefully, you can tell a friend at least about the free show, spread the word here and all that kind of good stuff. But really excited about what we have to offer for the football product. We're still pushing hard in the baseball zone, whether you need pitching help or hitting help, or you want to discuss rookies, or you got a question about setting your DFS lineup, or you want to place some bets. Remember, all the baseball coverage at fantasyguru.com right now is one low price. So you get it all, one low price. Head over to fantasyguru.com, click the subscribe tab in the top right corner, and get signed up. I want to thank everybody for contributing to the conversation today and always keeping it positive. I hope this is a good week for all of y'all, that you have a good one, that you start off on a hot note, that you had a great weekend. Monday starts off great, and that we just have a banger of a week, both in fantasy sports and in life. We'll be back here tomorrow at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time for Fantasy Sports Daily, powered by fantasyguru.com. I'll be joined by Armando Marsal. I'll talk baseball. The two of us will talk football. So join us again tomorrow at 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I'm Ray Flowers. This has been Fantasy Sports Daily, powered by fantasyguru.com.